First man into space! Yeah, so much for an intro. Hello there, CriterioNate here. Number 364, I think. I think we're at 364. Let me confirm. 364 is part one of the Monsters and Madmen collection, which would make this 365 Robert Day's First Man into Space. But don't do nothing until you hear from me. First Man into Space. Nailed it! 365. First Man into Space. 19. Oh gosh. Well, here's another question. Stats, because this package I have doesn't have any artwork. It just says First Man into Space on one side, Atomic Submarine on the other. 1959, 77 minutes, black and white, English. Yeah. Oh boy. So Monsters and Madmen. I guess we're in for the next few days. We're gonna be in for some treats with spooky 50s monsters and sci-fi and yeah, First Man in Space. What can I say about it? Pretty simple story. It's just about this guy. What is his name? Dan, Lieutenant Dan. Oh gosh. His brother Chuck. They work for the Navy, and his brother Chuck is the commander. And they are. And Dan is piloting a rocket ship into space, the Y-13. And Dan has these like really big aspirations of being the first man into space, just getting up there and so they try out the ship, and he gets he gets up there and he's like really enjoying it, and he's like smiling, and he has to come, but he pulls himself back in and all that, and he ends up finally on their second trip up, he pilots up, and he ends up. That was the first ship. He pilots the Y-12, and then they get the Y-13, and on the Y-13, Dan ignores all of their instructions to turn and pull, come back, and he just keeps accelerating higher and higher and higher. I think he says he goes up about 250 miles, and then till he's totally out of control. Or away from the radio ship, and yeah, he eventually loses control. He runs into some meteorite dust, ejects himself from the boosters, and falls back to Earth. And I think in a farm, in a Mexican farm, or I think maybe a farm in New Mexico. I can't remember. But yeah, so. Meanwhile, all this mysterious figure wanders around the earth, killing people wherever he goes. I wonder who it is, And you can tell it's one of those movies that kind of reveals itself way too easily, because people notice the dust on. I think at one point Chuck touches the dust on the ship, and you hear a sting. And it's like, okay, well then it's dust there. It revealed, you just totally, the dust is the problem, but everybody else is, just kind of but we know, and maybe that was the intention. I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, so Dan is now extremely disfigured, very, very creepy prosthetics that the actor's wearing, looked like a melted, fudge cookie or something like that with an eye sitting there, just ew, kind of gross. And yeah, he just runs around, goes around and kills people and steals a car and kills some policemen. And he finally makes his way back to the headquarters, where his brother and his girlfriend Tia are there, and they all the scientists are trying to avoid him and all that. And by now they know the monster attacking everyone is Dan, and so they try to calm him down. They trap him in this atmospheric chamber thing with Chuck, and they're able to calm him down. And Dan recognizes Chuck, and eventually starts talking, as if he could talk through the head, as if it's like you don't see his lips moving or something, but it's just I don't know. It's a little ridiculous by that point. But you know, hey, I actually really like Ridiculous. I like that we have a ridiculous movie in the Criterion Collection. Like, this is one of those movies that I don't know why it's in the Criterion Collection, but God bless, you know. So I have not much else to say. Oh yeah, Dan dies because Chuck is there with him, and Chuck can't breathe in the chamber, so they have to have him oxygen, but you can only have the oxygen for so long because they're applying the pressure, and the higher the pressure, the better Dan feels. But Chuck is getting weaker and weaker, and so they realize this, and Dan just says apologizes to Tia and says, "I just wanted to be the first man into space," and then he falls over dead, and I guess the moral, and then the movie ends with the sergeant kind of like saying, or the head guy saying, "Oh, we gotta get started on the Y4. This is the part of my job I hate the most. So gotta get started on the Y14. Like, haven't we learned enough? And then Chuck and Tia walk off into the distance by themselves. And all that, and that's the end. Yeah. So yeah. One of my but there's a real treat for you Doctor Who fans. Roger Delgado is the Mexican consul. I guess at one point the Y-13 flies over a bull ring, and it distracts the bullfighter. The bull ends up goring the bullfighter, so the Mexican consul goes to tell them the story, and it's played by Roger Delgado. For those of you who don't know, played the first Master in the original Doctor Who from, I think, season 8, 1971. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, by the way, so that's how I know this stuff. But anyway, if you like Doctor Who, you want to see your favorite Doctor Who actors into other roles, here you go. Speaking of Doctor Who, I can't wait for what is it? Oh gosh, I forget which one it is. It's one of them. I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna look it up. There's a movie with the first Doctor, and I cannot remember for the life of me what the name of it is. This Sporting Life has William Hartnell, who played the first Doctor from Doctor Who. He has a role in this movie, and it's actually number 417, so that's going to be coming up like in October or November. We're going to get to that one real soon next season. So I am really excited. So anyway, really excited for that and all that good stuff. So yeah, First Man to Space. Cool movie. Very creepy. Very cool. It wants to be parodied, but it definitely does. It isn't too bad. It actually doesn't get too ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's not too ridiculous. So yeah, I have nothing else to say about it. We'll give it an A. Give it an A. It's a good movie. And yeah, that's all I got for that. So we'll leave it at that. First Man to Space A. Supplements. There's a short 9-minute documentary of Making Us Space with interviews with Robert Day. It looked like an old interview. It wasn't a new interview. And then I think a new interview with Marla. What is her name? Marla something or other. The actress who played Tia. Let me find out what her name is. Marla Landy. Apparently, Robert Day had no initial interest in doing like a sci-fi movie like that, but in the end, he made it work, and yeah, so which is weird because we've got 2 more of his movies coming up. They're not really a sci-fi movies. I don't think the Haunted Strangler and Quarters of Blood are. They're more horror or like horror fiction. I can't tell from the artwork because obviously I don't have the artwork, and the descriptions seem to more or less delve on the horror thriller side of it. So I think these 2 movies, First Man in Space and The Atomic Submarine, are probably the more sci-fi movies. So anyway, so there's an interview with Robert Day and Marla Landy. There's some radio spots, the trailer, some stills from the movie, and I think that's basically it. So yeah, First Man in Space, pretty cool stuff. And yeah, so anyway, that's it for now. Apologies for not getting to you guys yesterday, Tuesday the 3rd. I had to work late, and I ended up when I got home, I didn't have time to do First Man to Space, so I decided to go ahead and just I'll do this one, and then later on tonight we will do Atomic Submarine, and then tomorrow we will do Honda Strangler, and then Friday we'll do Corridors of Blood, and that'll be it for this week. And of course next Sunday we've got the Scarlet Empress. And then the Paul Robeson set next week, which has shipped. I can confirm they have shipped finally, along with Day of Wrath, which is our next rewatch. And yeah, so I need to get on by ordering the next set of them after that. Bicycle Thieves, Green for Danger, 49th Parallel, When a Woman Ascends the Stairs. And yeah, that'll be it for that week. Then after that, Fires on the Plain, The Burmese Heart, The Naked City, Lahain, Overlord, Brute Force, Vengeance is Mine. I could keep reading, but anyway. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Don't be the first man into space because it's too late, and you'll die, or you'll get your eyeballs popped out. And yeah, that's basically it. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later tonight for the Atomic Submarine. And until then, goodbye.